Hey, Justice Warriors, what's happening? How are you guys? It's Friday. It's about 2:20 in the afternoon on March 8th, and I'm so happy to see you. Whether you're here live or on the replay crew, whichever it is, I appreciate you very much. You guys are the best. So, I wanted to follow up on some things that I said yesterday. I was talking a lot. I was kind of going in 12 different directions at once. So I didn't complete some of my thoughts, and that drives me nuts. But first, let me just do my normal routine of asking you guys to help me out with my tranquility. Share. Make sure you're still subscribed. Turn on your notification bell to ring. Sorry to surprise you with these lives that are kind of all over the map time-wise. But, you know, it's hard for me to keep a schedule when I don't have enough structure. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. It's nice because I have my freedom and I can do the things that I feel like I need to do. But, you know, the time just slips away and I want to get on before the day is completely over. So, you know me, I'm always trying to come onto my lives as early in the day as possible. So today was like full of crap this morning, and I will fill you in. But first, like, why was my hair like fine right up until I turned on the live? And same with my shirt. It doesn't like change on the screen, I don't think, when I'm like checking it to make sure everything's gonna work out all right. Whatever. Okay. What was I looking for? My thumb. Please hit that like button if you'd be so kind. It really does help the algorithm. And you guys, I'm so excited. I'm still, whoa. Okay, forget it. I'm giving up. Oh man, I'm not going to give up. Hold on. I despise gravity. My goodness, how absurd was that? And now it's gonna take me a minute. You guys are patient, right? Man, you gotta have patience to be in this damn business of whatever we call it. You know, the YouTube land. So you guys can probably see the lights that are getting all messed around. And like one thing, it's like a freaking domino game. Oh my goodness, it's so freaking annoying. So let's just see how that will work. I don't want to, like, you know me, I'm not striving for perfection because then I would never get onto my live. Okay, I think it's fine. You know, the problem is like the too much light, not enough light, and then, you know, things get flooded out. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was about to tell you about all the BS from this morning, but now, the BS from the lighting is bad news. What can I do? Does that help? I think that helps. I think I was too much light and things were getting washed out. Anyway, my apologies. Just gotta laugh. So this morning, I was doing some stuff on YouTube and I came across a ridiculous video. I took a screenshot of the thumbnail and I put it into my community tab only after communicating with my dear friend Kelly from Watsy Obsession, who was being mocked by the same joker that was like, what? Huda doesn't have any content? Like, the only content Huda can come up with is to critique other content creators, and in such an insane way. I don't want to give this person airtime, but at the same time, I'm appalled by how many people trust this content creator. So, you know how I am. I feel like it's my duty and it's all of our duties. Hello, CB. Thank you so much for coming in and saying hi. I don't know if you got to see the lights fall over and stuff a few minutes ago. You know, dang, it's always something. So I finally get on, and finally everything is set, and then gravity happens. But anyway, so this content creator who pretends that they're in the same profession that I actually am in, and they don't know jack about jack. So here they are in their video from yesterday tearing up Kelly for doing things the way she does things. And you know, we all do things our own way. That's like the whole thing about like being a free person in a free country. And maybe this person doesn't understand that because they're not from this country. It's still just kind of your like God-given right to just do your own thing. And it's important for me, it's important for all of us to stay in our lane and just do our own thing. And yet we interact with others. We don't work in a vacuum. And it's nice to be supportive of others, and it's nice to feel supported by others. And, you know, what comes around goes around. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to apologize for just coming straight out and telling you who this mystery idiot is that was my welcoming committee a year and a half ago, and now, you know, finds it in their purview to criticize a channel that's been around for what, 5 years? Okay. You do you, boo. Okay. I'm just going to try to stay in my lane and do me. So things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't quite come through with the whole thought process yesterday. You know, I get so overwhelmed with so much information and trying to stay accurate. And it's important to stay accurate. And yet it's sometimes impossible because different information from different places, different receipts are different from each other. So this is why we cross-reference, and this is why we do our disclaimer. Everything I say is simply my opinion, and I make all my videos for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I hope that my content is educational. I'm always trying to learn something. I certainly don't feel like I know that much. I know what I know, and I know to trust my instinct, and I know to call BS when I see BS. So I want to call BS on the whole freaking Rust production. You guys, I keep reviewing the interviews and the videos and the body cam, and straight up out the gate, Alec Baldwin lied to law enforcement right off the bat and interfered with the investigation, obstructed justice by saying that the armorer was the one who handed him the gun. He said that straight up, that Hannah handed him the gun, that he took it out of Hannah's hand. And my guess is that he was saying that because that's the only person who is supposed to handle the weapon other than the actor who's handling it in the scene. No one else on the set, on the crew, is supposed to handle the weapons, period. Once in a while, the prop master might, or like Dave Hall, the assistant director, might, but they're not supposed to. That's not supposed to happen. Those weapons are supposed to be in the hands of the armorer or the person while they're filming, and then as soon as they're done filming, it's supposed to be back in the hand of the armorer. Had they followed protocol, Mrs. Halyna Hutchins would still be alive, and her little boy would still have his mom, and her husband would still have the love of his life, and she would still have her life. So these douchebags that break protocol and then in a panic start trying to cover for themselves, I say throw them all to the freaking wolves. Like, yeah, Hannah got her comeuppance, but Mr. Baldwin, he better get his. He better not get away with red rum, period. Sandra, whoa, Nice to see you, lady. Did you send me the email? Because I haven't seen it. I looked yesterday a few times. So Justice, ATOOZ @gmail.com. Please send me an address to ship the little tiny Tabasco bottle to. It's right here. And the tapestry with the which columns, Squidward, no, jellyfish. So Squidward is a octopus. So CB says, imagine if it was just one of us peons that did what he did. We would have been in jail day one. Exactly. And I have a question too. Okay. The photograph that I used for my thumbnail from the video yesterday is of Hannah being apprehended by the bailiff in the court. And he's got handcuffs in his hand, but he doesn't have them on her. And I'm wondering if he handcuffed her on the other side of the door, just to make it like a less obvious kind of perp walk. I wonder, because why does he have them out unless he's going to use them? And he didn't use them on the side of the door where we could see. And typically, yeah, when somebody's arrested, they're put in handcuffs. I mean, it hurts. Handcuffs are no fun. It bruises a lot of people's arms. It's not a comfortable position to be in. If you're not a threat and if you ask really nice, they might allow you to be handcuffed in front rather than behind you. And that's going to be a lot less painful. So maybe they did that, but I'm just curious why he had the handcuff in his hand and then didn't use it. Like, why is he taking it out if he's not going to use it? So did he just put it back and not use it? Or did he use it on the other side of that door? But another thought that I didn't finish yesterday that I came on here to finish is about The Crow and The Crow 2. So we know that Brandon Lee was, let's see, it's so confusing. Brandon Lee was in The Crow. No, yeah, Brandon Lee was in The Crow in 1993. And there was an accident with a gun. And so Dave Hall worked on The Crow. So that was the thought that I didn't completely finish. So The Crow 2, do I need to Google this again? I get so confused. Hey, Mark, nice to see you. And I don't like to be confused. I don't want to confuse you guys just because I'm confused. So The Crow was the one that Brandon Lee was killed in. And that was, it was released in 1994, but he passed away in 1993 during the filming of it, in a relatively similar situation to what Halyna Hutchins was in. Not exactly the same, of course. But so Dave Hall worked on The Crow. And I'm not sure if he worked on Crow 2, but that person who was playing Callie in the Crow series that died in the car accident, she was also the Yellow Power Ranger in the Power Ranger series. So I didn't bring that whole thought full circle about how they call it the Curse of the Crow because of the Crow first movie and Brandon Lee. And then the actress who played Callie, passing away from an unrelated incident. It was a car accident that happened off set. But then you've got Dave Hall being the common denominator, who played the Undertaker on day one of filming of Rust. And then on the third day of the filming, there was a rattlesnake on the set, and the snake wrangler couldn't get it under control or get a hold of it. And Dave Hall said, don't worry about it. Let's just keep filming. So not only is that creepy, but these are the kinds of things that I call omens, right? Like a rattlesnake on your set to me is a bad omen, even if the snake wrangler gets a hold of it. But the fact that they weren't able to get possession of it, and that the director was like, the show must go on day 3 when they still have 18 days to record. Like, what's the freaking hurry? But that was the problem with this whole Rust set, was that it was like go, go, go every day from jump. And the crew didn't feel safe, and they were voicing their concerns. They were being ignored. They were basically being given lip service as though they were being heard, but then their friends would call them and say, what's going on over there on your set? Because I just got a call from your production crew that they're trying to fill your job. So, like, that's not a laughing matter. That is not a laughing matter. Sandra Langford, am I confusing you with who won the tapestry and the bottle? Don't tell me I'm confusing you, girl. From yesterday? Oh, my brain. Let's see. Hello, everyone. What did I miss? Mark, you're so funny. I'm sorry that I missed your live this morning. I was going back and forth with my dear friend Kelly over the situation with some idiot making a video about her yesterday. And so I got a hold of her immediately, because I was so grateful. It was my viewers that let me know a year and a half ago, when that biatch did that whole thing blasting me over calling Scammy disgusting and suspecting that there might be some party favors or rugs that had an influence in what happened to Kylie Rodney, and that I had the suspicion that Scammy and Kylie's mother might have had some business dealings with the rugs, with the party favors. And so that BS content creator, who had like less than 100 followers at the time, less than 100 subs, and now she's got like over 7,000, which to me is just appalling. And that's one of the reasons why I quit watching one of the really big channels that a lot of people watch, Harsh Reality, was because he was propping her up all the time. Him, I don't know. I'm not transphobic, but I am phobic of phonies. And I think that channel, I don't like to say their name. You guys know who I'm talking about. The photograph and the name are in my community post. I don't trust anything about them. I don't trust that they're anything that they say they are. They don't understand the terms of the trade of mental health. They misuse terms all the time. At first, I thought maybe that was just a language barrier, but I think that person is 100% bull crap. So I'm just telling it like it is, because to me, it is very detrimental to the platform of YouTube to have people like that on here, and then for viewers to trust them and to think that they're telling the truth when they're the furthest thing from it. So I've just had it. And, Kelly was really happy that I contacted her about it. She was, of course, not happy about the situation. But it's almost laughable, because this content creator gets their information completely skewed. Like, they're delusional. They don't know what's going on. And they're saying that Kelly was contacting Hunter Johnson, I think is the last name, the person who called 911. And Kelly never, ever, ever attempted to contact that person. So the content creator thinks that Hunter is in the same fraternity that Ethan was in, and he's not. He's in a different fraternity. So, she's just blasting a very well-established and trustworthy content creator that's been around the block. And, you know, that's where I say stay in your lane. It's like you do that and, you know, that's your prerogative. It's a free country. They can do whatever they want. But I'm just happy to have seen it, because the chances of me catching that are slim to nil, because I don't watch that channel. I ignore that content creator as much as I possibly can. So the reason it came up for me today was because I was trying to find the original live that Watsy Obsession had invited me to be her like special guest on her panel. And it was at least 2 years ago, probably a little bit more than 2 years ago. And I don't think I've seen it since we made it back then. Maybe I saw it once, but probably shortly after the live was aired. And I wanted to look at it for a lot of reasons, but just to assess where she was at with her channel, where I was at. That was way before I ever had a channel. That was where I got the name Xena. And Kelly was very gracious with me and very generous and nurturing and really encouraging to help me build my confidence to try my hand at this whole thing, because, you know, I wasn't going to, you guys. I seriously never, ever thought being a content creator for YouTube was something up my alley. And I've shared with you that Paula Plunder was the first person to suggest it, and I thought she was a little nuts. Again, I took it as a huge compliment, but at the same time, I thought, well, maybe, you know, she's just trying to get me to start my own channel, so I'm not constantly sharing my thoughts and opinions with her. So, you know, it's just nice that there's so many voices on YouTube. It's nice that we all have such a variety to choose from. And it's terrible when, you know, when Mark and I are feeling so competitive for your time. I'm just kidding. You know, that's the thing, is that let's see. You know, we could all feel competitive with each other, but that's ridiculous. Like, that's like just not a very effective way to live. I mean, we are all comrades, and healthy competition is good. Like, that helps us all do our personal best, but getting overly competitive is ridiculous. It's self-sabotaging. So, and it really took the air out of my sails, because so much of it is so negative, and yet I feel like it's very important to not just brush over it. So I wanted to talk with you guys about it, but I wanted to like cool my jets, because I just wasn't sure how much to share. And you know me, I like to share it all. So I just wanted to give myself a little time to let it cool down. And then, did he know ahead of time? See, this is what happens when I get way off of the schedule. This was 10 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago. So did he know ahead of time? Or were you talking about something with Alec Baldwin and Dave Hall and The Curse of the Crow? No problem. Stuff goes on in lives. My stuff is out there. Yeah. I know. I figured I could catch it on the replay. I mean, that's the nice thing about lives. And if you miss them live, you can be on the replay crew. So yeah, I think there was something between Scammy and Lindsay, escorts, da rugs. I like that, da rugs. You know, what really has tipped me off with that idea, that theory, Mark, lately, is this whole thing with Madeline Soto's mother and her involvement with the ex-boyfriend and her lying to law enforcement, and how much I've said it the last couple of days, how much she reminds me of Scammy, but she also reminds me of Lindsay. They are all talking from the same playbook, as though they rehearsed together, as though they ripped the same pages out of the same playbook, and that's where they're coming from. So seeing this whole tragedy with Madeline Soto gives me more perspective on Kylie Rodney's case, because you guys know how it is. It's been really hard to see the forest through the trees, no pun intended, with the whole freaking Silence of the Lambs, Blair Witch Project, you know, what else? That freaking, you know, what was it that Scammy called the party? The Lord of the Flies. The Horde of Lies, as Kenny, Crime Watch with Kenny called it in one of his last videos that he did. If you guys aren't subbed up to Crime Watch with Kenny, please sub up over on his channel and encourage the man. He makes great videos, and he's had such a rough time with losing his sister lately. Just in the last week or two. And also sub up to Mark, because he loves to have as many subs as possible, and he's still, I think, under 1,000, aren't you, Mark? And you do great work. So, oh, his channel is called Mark Molina. So great, Jackie, we're on the same page. Anyone can be fake on internet and YouTube. Everything is here, good, bad, ugly, and gross. Right, and people can be fake in real life. I mean, that's precisely the problem. I think it's even easier to be fake on YouTube, and there's a lot of it. I mean, and what it does is it degrades the whole platform, Mark, so then it makes all of us questionable and seem like scammers. You know, we're all like Jeffy Poo or Huda or these other fools. We know that they're out there, and we try not to give them our attention, but when they start bad-mouthing content creators that have integrity, and people believe them because people trust them, because people don't know any better, because other people are believing them. So that channel, True Crime Time, that I outed in one of my videos about 10 or 11 months ago, and I wasn't 100% sure, but I was pretty sure with all of the information that I presented in that video, and just like the silly icon that they use for their profile picture, and how that matched Brent Kopaka's icon in one of his like Facebook profile pictures. Like, that whole thing was just nuts. And then the voices with like Josco 1972 matching the voice of the True Crime Time, and how they got up to 5,000 subs in 10 days, and then 20,000 subs in a month. And, you know, they still sit not too high over 20,000, and that was a year ago. But about 8 months ago, I think, was the last time they dropped a video. And some of you guys said in the chat a couple days ago that they're coming back out, maybe in commenting in other content creators' chats, but they haven't made anything. And I never thought, oh, that was a response to my outing them, but maybe it was. And if it was, then I'm proud of myself. You know, I'm not saying that I'm right. I might not be. I could be inaccurate about the whole thing. Maybe they're just an innocent content creator that just knows everything about the case inside out and backwards, things that nobody else knows. I mean, the only people that could know the things that that content creator was presenting would be law enforcement or the actual perpetrators. And it's been my question from day one, maybe not day one. Day one, I thought law enforcement at the very least had to give the green light in order for that type of thing to go down in that type of location. But the more time that passed, I've thought that potentially the man clad in black is like the men clad in black that are out front interacting with the college boys crossing the lawn. Like, so you just happen to have two dudes clad in black. I don't know what type of eyebrows they have, but they also have a car that looks a lot like a white Hyundai Elantra. It's unmarked. And they're in front of the residence at the exact same time that this heinous crime is going down. And then Dylan says that she saw a person clad in black. I mean, that freaking case is just crazy. But anyway, these weirdos that come out of the woodwork, and some of them we have discovered over time are actually law enforcement that come out onto YouTube to try to freaking control the narrative and to try to do the whole like double think, double speak so that nobody knows what's true and what's not true. Nobody can discern truth from fantasy, fiction from nonfiction, and it's got to stop, you guys. I mean, it's on each one of us to call out the BS when we see the BS. Oh, was it Sherry that got the? Sorry, how did I confuse your names, Sandra Lankford and Sherry Irvin? So I guess your first names are a little similar. Anyway, email is at the end of my description of the channel, and it's justicetooz@gmail.com. And I'm sorry that I confused you guys. It's so confusing. It's so confusing trying to ferret out the BS from what's true. And you've got these master manipulators that are very skilled at the art of deception. And they get off on it. It's a power trip. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's just not, it's not okay. All right. So Mark put the link to his channel, and I'll highlight that so anybody that wants to can grab it. And yeah, Sherry, I'm so happy that you're here and that we sorted that out. So thank you. I work hard in keeping my trolls and limit my numbers. You're so crafty, Mark. You're so crafty. Mark's biggest troll, I'm here. That's cute, CB. That is very cute. And John Eric Hexum was another death in Hollywood TV series Gun Bank. Oh, interesting. I haven't heard of that one, Mark. If you want to share more, I'll look that one up too. I mean, yeah, everybody knows that guns are extremely dangerous and that you don't play with guns, just like you don't play with fire. You play with fire and you get burned. I mean, it's just the way it is. And for Mr. Baldwin to lie to law enforcement right out front at the very beginning and to create a false narrative, sure, he could say that he was confused. He could say that, you know, he was just so overcome with grief that he couldn't think straight. But we all know that that's BS. And we all know that all of these people on, maybe not every single one of them, but most of the people that have been recorded on body cam and given depositions and testified in court, that they've all changed their stories. So it's my guess that there's a lot of pressure to not put Rust in a bad light, and that it is self-preserving to follow that directive if you ever want to work in Hollywood again. And then people like Sarah Zachary decided that she didn't ever want to work in Hollywood again, probably because she felt like she was in a literal snake pit, surrounded by snakes and sharks. And I'm not absolving her of any wrongdoing because she's the one who put the shell casings in the garbage. And then her response when questioned about it, was, I can't tell you why I did that. And initially, I gave her the benefit of the doubt and thought she was probably in a panic and she probably just was like on autopilot and didn't even realize what she was doing. But that would be what she would say then in the line of questioning of why did you do that, instead of just saying, I can't tell you why. So she, in my opinion, is still hiding some information, although the prosecution made it abundantly clear that if she was lying in any of her testimony, that she could be prosecuted as well. But, you know, there's a fine balance and art with all that. It's, go watch and support Kenny. Yes, not 1,000 or 500, but it's quality members only. Oh, I love it, Mark. So I'm still working on 750,000 views total. So I like to say I'm getting close to 750,000 views. And that's exciting to me. That's insane. And hi, Alicia Walker. And let's see. There's the email. Thank you, Mr. Mark. I've been binge watching your videos today. Yeah, Mark is great. He is sharp and direct and honest, and he doesn't badmouth anybody. I really don't like to badmouth people. Like, when I feel like I need to, I do it, but I really don't like doing it. I want you guys to know that. It's just bogus. Like, I really want to just stay in my lane and stay focused on my own content, my own opinions, thoughts, and ideas about these cases. Like, that's what's important to me. And I enjoy watching other content and speaking about other content that I like and other creators that I like. I don't like to watch the ones that I don't like. I don't like to think about them. I don't like to speak about them. I just like to ignore them. And, you know, at the same time, I'm glad that I found what I found this morning, that I was able to share it with Watts, the Obsession, right away. She said she's doing a live tonight, and I very well might be on her panel. So we'll see. I think it's an Idaho 4 panel. So last night, Amber Truthseeker had a really good live about the Watts case, you guys. And I hadn't, until last night, really understood her whole theory that is very elaborate. And she's the first one to admit that it's a crazy conspiracy theory, potentially. I've always thought that, yeah, it seems like they were going to try to blow up Survey 319 and with the family members on the property to get a huge settlement. But her very elaborate theory about all of the players involved, and that NK may have been a plant to hook Chris well in advance, that, you know, she did Google Shanann and Chris in late summer of 2017. She says she didn't know Chris until spring of 2018. But obviously she knew of him. And it's just fascinating. I'm going to put a link to Amber Truthseeker's live from last night. I was extremely active in the chat. Alex Erickson was on her panel. It was just the two of them. And they're both just awesome women. I love them as content creators. They're fantastic. And it was a great chat. I mean, it was crazy busy trying to keep up with everything that they were saying and trying to keep up with the chat. And so many people in that chat saying so many good things. And I was trying to catch it all. I'm sure I missed a lot of great stuff, but I was working my tail off just to be in that chat. Let's see. Damn commercial. Oh no. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I think about getting the upgrade of the YouTube Premium so that I don't get interrupted by commercials. It's an old 1980-ish TV show titled Cover Up. Oh, what a cute title. Funny, huh? Funny, not funny. This is another bad accident on a cheap horror movie. Used the wrong glass because did not expect the glass to break. Right, and I told you guys about the actress or the stunt actress, Cheryl Wheeler Dixon, who did not have a fatality on set, but she had one of the most horrific non-fatal accidents on set for Back to the Future 2 with Michael J. Fox. So she was on like a hoverboard and on like a one of those like zip line strings, and the idiots working for the cast and crew crashed her full body face into a cement like pillar, and she almost died. She made a remarkable recovery, absolutely remarkable. Cheryl Wheeler Dixon, and then she did pass away a couple years ago from some other freakish accident that had nothing to do with Hollywood that we know of. Craziness, absolute craziness. The life of a stunt person. Yeah. Awesome jazz growth is cool. My internet keeps buffering, so may have to replay. Isn't that annoying? So many difficulties. Oh, Sherry, I hate issues trying to start computer and Wi-Fi. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I clarified all that stuff, and yeah, these people perjuring themselves, it's just nuts. So back to the cameraman that is in the interview in the Crime Circus Cult video that I put the link in my description for yesterday's video. So that video is only 2 months old. Grip Drop published it 2 months ago, but I think that the body cam footage was from a year ago. So I think that it's a deposition not too long after the incident happened. And then he basically was running down his experience on the Rust set. So he seems like a very trustworthy individual, the large, heavy set assistant cameraman. I think I have his name written down right here. But the fact that he walked off the set probably saved his life, you guys. Probably saved his life. I have everybody else's name written down right here, but I don't think I have his. Let's see. No, not that guy. Unless it is on this page. Yes, Lane Looper. Good. Lane Looper was the assistant cameraman, heavyset gentleman that was had interacted a lot with Halyna, was pretty much friends with her. I am pretty sure I was going to go back and rewatch parts of the interview because it's so good. But I'm pretty sure that he was the one who dropped her off at the church right after lunch, and that he was coming onto the set to gather up all of his equipment. But it's hard to follow all of the stories. There's just so much information. So, what I like to try to do here on my channel is present information to you guys that I've dug up and my thoughts and opinions about it. And sometimes my information, I don't present it accurately because I misspeak or because I got inaccurate information, but I always try to clarify. I always try to go back and clean up any mistakes that were made. So like yesterday, for instance, I was showing you the tattoos on my shoulder. And I was telling you what each one means and who each one represents in the family. So the top one represents me. The bottom one represents my husband because he's like the foundation of the family. And I'm the one that keeps things under control kind of. So that was why I decided him at the bottom, me at the top. And then the kids, I think I told you the reverse order because I was looking at the symbols thinking, that's not right. So I think that the one right underneath mine is the youngest kid. I think that's the one that is a new. And then the next one down is Genius, the youngest boy. And then the next one down is Fortunate, which is the older son. And then the one right above my husband's symbol for wholeness is Tranquility, and that's my oldest daughter. But I did them in reverse order, and I wasn't even going to bring it up because I'm like, man, probably nobody noticed, but anybody that knows Asian symbols would have noticed. And I have a tank top dress on that you might, I don't know if you'll be able to see them so well today, but like I said, when I was looking at the symbols, I was like, wait, no, that's not right. So that top one means life. The one right below that is either Tranquility or Anew. And you can't really see them. But anyway, I'm just using that as an example that every time I make an error, I try to address it so that I'm admitting my imperfections and that I'm not misleading, because it's easy to make mistakes and it's okay to make mistakes, but it's not okay to misrepresent the truth and then just stand by what you said because you are too proud to admit that you're wrong, or you're too lazy to deal with it. So I think I should wrap up for today, you guys. It's been quite a number on my brain, all that crap with the Huda bullshit. Let's see. And Sherry, I hate issues. Okay, I read that one. Good question. If a man was there, would Alec Baldwin have pointed the weapon? And they had a 14-year-old kid on site that was starring in the movie with Alec Baldwin. So I mean, that's even more nuts when you're dealing with children and weapons and safety or lack thereof. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna keep this one a little bit short. We're just over 45 minutes, so peace out. Have a lovely weekend. I hope you guys can have some good downtime, good time with your friends and family and pets, and some solitude. Get some exercise, sunshine, fresh air. You know the drill. Stay hydrated, eat well, eat your protein, eat your veggies. I like to do salad for breakfast. I shared that with you guys a long time ago, and I keep doing it. I keep trying to remind myself, eat salad for breakfast. It's a good one. Rest up and love and light and enjoy. Thank you, Jazz. Water, no Dr. Pepper. That's a tough one. A lot of people are addicted to soda pop. So yeah, sending you guys light and love, and see you maybe tonight on What's the Obsessions panel. But if not, I will see you soon, and definitely by Monday for sure. Have a great weekend. And thanks for watching. Love and light.